I've purposely not talked about this because I know it will cause some people a reaction. But I do think we need to talk about it because in these abusive situations, the shame of this is really debilitating. So I'm going to be vulnerable. And if anybody jumps to shame me, know that that's a reflection of you and not me. I took my accountability and I reconciled my guilt by leaving and by apologizing to my kiddo. I'm going to share this to help other people. If you're new to my page, my name is Jackie and I'm giving real examples of emotional abuse so that you can spot them in your relationships. My ex was a bully to my daughter too. The bulk of the disagreements in the beginning of our relationship were about parenting differences. He was more traditional, where I believed in gentle parenting. But looking back, it's pretty clear that he didn't view children as people because he didn't respect her boundaries one bit. He would insert himself into her space like an annoying big brother. He would put his feet on her. He would take things away from her that she was playing with. And when these things would cause her to react, he would yell at her and call her a baby or a spoiled brat. And because he role modeled this bullying behavior, his kids started to do the same. His daughter would constantly put her feet on my daughter under the table. So when my daughter would complain, I would tell her to get up and move. Remove yourself from the situation. And he would pipe up. He would be like, "Why are you such a baby? She just does it because she likes you. She's showing you love." He would completely invalidate and dismiss my daughter's preferences. So I would have conversations with him. To her, it's not love. To her, it's pestering. And he would say, "Well, my daughter's touchy-feely, and there's nothing wrong with that. So you're basically shaming my daughter for being touchy-feely." And I would get so fucking lost in my head, like, no, this is about respecting other people's boundaries. We're teaching my daughter that other people can do whatever they want to her and she doesn't have a say. And as much as he criticized me, he criticized her too. He would comment on her body and what she was eating, and I would say, "You can't say those things. That's going to damage her self-esteem." And he would say, "Well, I'm just trying to help her. It's a cruel world out there. She needs to toughen up." She did come to me at one point after about a year of us living together and say, "Mom, I don't want to live with him." I didn't listen. I thought it was just normal for kids to not like the new boyfriend or the new girlfriend. So I started looking into how I could improve their relationship. So I joined a couple different step-parent groups on Facebook, and I didn't notice this at the time, but these groups are mostly composed of stepmoms. Notice how the moms are the ones seeking advice and information and help. When you listen to them talk, they're the ones carrying the emotional load and the mental labor of blending families. So I eventually came across the Nacho Kids Academy, and this was a godsend because it helped me realize I didn't have a blending families problem, I had a significant other problem. So here's a couple things that I learned. First of all, it's not just parenting differences if they can't respect how you wish to parent your own children. If they interject, if they undermine, if they criticize, if they disrespect your parenting boundaries, then they have a belief system rooted in entitlement, submission, and objectification, the 3 pillars of abuse. No amount of boundaries you set will prevent them from being abusive to you or your kiddos. Second, if there's friction between your significant other and your kids, it's their job to fix it, not yours and not your kids. They're the adult. They need to do the effort. If they aren't trying to fix it and they expect you to do it or the kids to do it, then they are operating from a belief system that's rooted in entitlement, submission, and objectification, the 3 pillars of abuse. Third, beware of, "You should love my children as your own." This is emotional manipulation, especially if it comes out when you start setting boundaries around children that don't belong to you. Abusers with children are not looking for a partner, but for somebody to pass the responsibility of raising their children to. Before you know it, you're going to be doing more for their kids than they do themselves. Finally, listen to your kids. We are too quick to invalidate their feelings and their experiences, and we forget that they haven't numbed their nervous system yet. They're getting emotional reactions for a reason. If your significant other doesn't respect their boundaries, talks down to your kids, or thinks their needs and wants are more important, then you're dealing with an abuser and your children can sense it.